and there was like gold flakes in this one particular drink called Kölnisches Goldwasser, which was a popular, tastes like Kimmel, you drink it. And I said to Daddy, I said, oh, look at the beautiful sparkles. And he says, well, he said, the gold is a cure. It's a cure-all for a lot of things. If it lodges in your liver or different parts of your body, it cures us all kinds of diseases. But he says, you're looking only at gold. He says, the real answer is in a white powder chemical compound, you know, which is what they call the philosopher's stone. So I knew about that when I was very small.
Fascinating, fascinating. Well, we all know that philosopher's stone, this is the secret toward immortality. Some chemical agent that can be produced in any chemical lab with repeatability and predictability that affects our immune system, and probably this trigger mechanism in our immune system that is triggered to respond after 40, 50, 60, 70 years, whatever the average lifetime for the generation is. It's kind of an autoimmune response where the immune system of the body, the police forces of the body, attack their own organism. When the timer of the body says, hi, it's time to leave the scene of this incarnation and make some place for the next waves, next cohorts of generations that are coming. But through an introduction of a simple chemical agent, one can probably stop the aging process and if not totally stop it, then at least largely increase the lifespan. And of course this is a project that all mighty people with money, all bankers and financiers and mighty governments have been involved with secretly.
Project Blue Book and Project Black Book. He was not pleased with some of the attitude that Truman had with scientists. In other words, you know, you can blow up mankind, that's just to prove that America is great. But he says, you know, like he's the president of the United States and he could give a damn less what the scientists thought. And my father says, you're going to annihilate a lot of people. But Truman, you can't reason with him. He was like a person that was uneducated, that was just no reasoning, no politeness, no finesse. It was just a very tough guy to work with. Since we didn't have TV, we weren't allowed to have television at home, by the way.
Oh, that's very interesting. Why so? Do you remember any reasons given by your father?
Very simply, he says people who watch television too much, he says you can't learn if you just have a distraction. He says it's just a distraction, good to be used for news or certain things, but not to be distracted. He says it ruins your mind, it becomes pudding up there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Heard on the news, like we all sat there in silence and in awe, that these dogs were going up, and it was so fascinating. So we were all celebrating with the Russians, and I said, Daddy, you're so happy with the Russians. He says, we're all good friends. We all love each other. He says, the scientists, he says, you don't mix minds with politics. He says, the minds are all the same. We all work together. So anyhow, I said, but what's going to become of the dogs? And he said, the last meal they eat, they will be poisoned. And I said, but Daddy, I said, if this is a preliminary of what people are going to do, are they going to kill off the astronauts? It's like, goodbye, Charlie, you know, this is the end. It's nice knowing you. You've done a lot for your country, but the last tuna fish sandwich you have, this is it. You know? And he says, he put his knife, and he's a very serious man, put his knife and fork down, looked at me, and said, yes, something can be done about that. And I said, and I started to cry, and I said, Daddy, I don't know what you do, but can you do something about it to bring those dogs back? Because if you do, then I said, the astronauts can come back. I said, I think it's stupid what they're doing. And he says, you're right, stupid. And he got up, forgot what to eat, he went upstairs, and he started to work on some books and papers and stuff. And that was the last, and I never asked him about it again, see. And I found out many years later that he was the one that devised the mathematical, or one of the ones, you know, I never know if it's the one or the one that was working on it, that brought the astronauts back, the mathematical formula for bringing it back. Because I said, Daddy, but they can get them up there. He says, any idiot can bring them up there. He says it takes someone that's got some brains to bring them back. He didn't mince words much.